This is Hive Radical, communicating with you from the Wasatch Front in Utah, in the United States of America. Hello, my brothers and sisters at Davos. There's a problem with this in presenting it because it runs counter to a great deal of what is taught and what is perceived by most of the world. My answer to this is simple, and very simple to the point of what some people may consider simplistic. Since I believe it is correct, I run the risk of appearing arrogant. The simplistic nature of it and the fact that it is straightforward and that I am putting it forward as a panacea make it all the more likely to appear as arrogant or simple-minded. I hope I can get past that and demonstrate the true essence, the true potency, and the true realness behind what I see as being the answer to what is the most important thing that we as humans, individually and as collective groups and as a whole society, must do in order to improve the world in the most efficient and effective way possible. To the actual idea, it's based in our identities, who we are. And who we are comes out from both what we do, and what we do then comes from what we think, what our ideas are, what our concepts are, what our self-perceptions are, what our capacity to discern and to understand our surroundings and our interactions with each other, our communications. All of these are fundamental to all we do. One of the fundamental things that I've found as I've thought about it and as I've experienced things in my life is that we have to be able to communicate the best that we can from generation to generation and build upon the past and improve upon the past without losing fundamentals. We have to be pliable enough to correct mistakes of past generations, but not so pliable that the actions and the improvements of past generations go unnoticed. It's my strong conviction that the strength of humanity is in our family, is in the concept of family, in the capacity for us to pass on from a mother and a father to their children the virtues, the capacity to discern, the capacity to obtain wisdom, to understand what is culture and what is society, and gaining a respect for knowledge and wisdom and intelligence. I'm firmly in the conviction that this is the only way that we as a society can go forward. The faith I belong to, the Mormon faith, recently has put out a proclamation to the world entitled The Family. And it is my strong conviction, not simply born out of my religious beliefs, but born out of my looks at our capacity as a society to pass on our memories, our ideas, our understandings. It's all fundamentally tied to how we raise the next generation, how we pass the baton of humanity on. And the strength of families is rooted in the convictions and desire and loyalty had between a husband and a wife to each other and to their children. And it extends beyond this to extended families, and ultimately to us as a whole society. We must see each other as brothers and sisters. And I know this sounds simplistic and idealistic, and in many ways it could be politically incorrect for a great many people. But the fundamentals of family, the virtue of having a mother and a father set up as an ideal, and that we see it as being a right, an expected right for each child to ideally have a mother and a father through which they can not only receive their genes, their genetics, but they can also receive those building blocks of civilization, those components that will enable them to become better than their parents were, to build up for the next generation and the next generation. And this is really, in my view, the foundation, the beginning and the end of society's capacity to overcome problems. Because if we cannot remain a family, if we cannot adhere to a family and keep a family meaningful, then we will not survive. The answer, in short, is to preserve the traditional family. Individuals, companies, governments should do all in their power to promote the health and well-being of the traditional family. Set it up as an ideal. It will not always be possible for this ideal to be fulfilled simply because we can't ensure that no harm will come to individuals. Doesn't mean we don't put in place and enforce laws against violence. Likewise with the family, we need to do all we can on all levels to hold up the best model of a family we can come to. And by doing that, we can best ensure the continuation of the human family as a whole, and the continuation of life, of happiness, and of us.